You've been losing in joy. You've been losing in faith. You've been losing in hope because when the enemy is sending it in your direction, you're not hitting it back. But this is your season to get the lick back on the devil. He uses lies to label us. To label us. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. In other words, we will always behave in a way that is consistent with how we see ourselves. We won't behave in a way that's consistent with who we are. We'll behave in a way that's consistent with who we see ourselves. Because who we really are is who we are in God's eyes. So y'all aren't talking to me. This is why when the angel appeared to a man in the Bible named Gideon, who was threshing wheat in a wine press, the angel says to him, the Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor. There is nothing about Gideon's activity that says he's a mighty warrior or a man of valor. He's taking wheat and he's threshing it in a place where they press wine. He's hiding. He's fearful. But the angel calls him who he is, not how he's behaving. Did you hear what I just said? The angel knew who Gideon was, but Gideon didn't know who he was. We will always behave in a way that is consistent with the way that we see ourselves. And this is why I want you to think about this objectively, right? Just step back and look at the scriptures objectively, and you can see there seems to be intentionality on God's part with always telling us who we are. Just think about it. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, he's always telling us who we are. Salt, light, chosen, royal, special, peculiar, beloved, selected, elected, protected, head, not tail, above only, not beneath. Come on. Lender, not borrower. Blessed, not cursed. Blessed in the city, blessed in the field, which means the blessing is not on it, it's on me. So if you put me in the city, I'm blessed. And you put me in the country, I'm blessed. Blessed in my going in and blessed in my coming out. So I'm blessed when I enter and I'm blessed when I exit, because the blessing is not on it, it's on me. Here's my question. If I am that, why does he tell me I'm that? If I already am that, won't I just be that? But he has to tell me that because he knows for me to experience that, it's not enough for him to know it. I got to know it. And so the enemy knows this. So what he attempts to do is to use lies to get us to believe something about ourselves that's inconsistent with what God says about us, so that we begin to behave in a way that is consistent with what he says about us and not what God says about us. Listen, when you get better spiritually, everything get better. Spiritual life is not the only important part of your life. It is the most important part of your life because it affects every other part that's important. But you don't get stronger spiritually accidentally. It takes intentionality. You need to get fed, and you got to learn how to understand, how to interpret, how to apply, and how to explain the Bible. The Bible's the blueprint to your best life. And I'm going to tell you, Sunday's not enough to give you the tools that you need to get better with the Bible. I want you to join me in my community called Bible U, where I help you take your understanding, your application, and your explanation of the Bible to another level. And we see a powerful picture of this in Numbers chapter number 13, family, where there's this group of people that are getting ready to possess this place that God promised them. The land that they were about to possess was called Canaan. And as God prepared them to occupy this land, Moses said, who was leading Israel at that time, said, all right, I'm going to take 12 spies. I want 12 spies to go over to the land and scout it out and come back and give me a report. Now, God had been bragging about the land. God had been saying, this is a land that's agriculturally rich. It's a land that's flowing with what you need agriculturally. It's not a desert. You want some grapes? There are grapes as big as you've never seen in this land. So the spies go over to do some recon to the land. It's 12 of them. And they come back, and 10 of the 12 say this: everything you said about the land is true. It's some big grapes over there. But there are some things about the land that you left out. You told us about the grapes. You didn't tell us about the giants. You told me I would have it. Come here, church. But you didn't tell me I would have to fight to get it. Did you hear what I just said, 12:30? And just because you got to fight don't mean it's not yours. Just because you got to battle for it doesn't mean it don't belong to you. As a matter of fact, a revelation of whether or not you believe it's yours is your willingness to fight for it. You fight for something that's yours in a way that you don't fight for anything else. I don't know who this is for, but I want to tell somebody this is your season to fight like it's yours. You can't have my peace, I'm going to fight like it's mine. You can't have my sleep, I'm going to fight like it's mine. You can't have my joy, I'm going to fight like it's mine. You can't have my family, I'm going to fight like it's mine. He says, you told us about the grapes. You didn't tell us about the giants. And God's like, I know. I didn't forget. I left that out on purpose. Because I give you information on a need-to-know basis, not a want-to-know basis. I give you enough information to secure your yes. Because I know if I gave you all the information before I got your yes, I wouldn't get a yes. So I'm going to get your commitment before I give you some commentary. Because if you knew everything you were saying yes to, you probably wouldn't say yes in the first place. But by the time you get a revelation of what you said yes to, you are so deep into it that you got to keep moving in it. Even though if you would have knew then what you knew now, you would have never said yes in the first. Is there anybody honest enough to say God knew what not to tell me? He knew what not to tell me. Jesus, I didn't know I was saying yes to this. He says, you told us about the grapes. You didn't tell us about the giant. You didn't tell me that my promise was occupied with opposition. And my ability to experience the promise is tied to my willingness to overthrow the opposition. So they say, this is what the 10 out of the 12 say. They say, it's giants in that land. Here's what's scary. And they say, and we were like grasshoppers in our eyes and in their eyes also. Wait a minute, church. They didn't talk to the giants. They were spies. The giants didn't even know they were there. So how do you know what the giant thinks of you? They were projecting onto the giants their beliefs about themselves. You saw yourself as a grasshopper, so you assumed that they saw you as a grasshopper, not realizing that they saw you better than you saw yourself. Did you hear what sometimes the enemy believes in you more than you do. That's why come here, church. That's why the warfare you're under don't make sense. Because to you, you're like, why he bothering me? It's because you don't know who me is. If you knew who you were, the warfare would make sense.
In the silence, I hear your voice. Whispers of forever, a heartfelt choice. To love without limits, to give without shame. In your eyes, touch is my solace, my guiding star. With every kiss, my heart beats near and far. In your loving eyes, I see my future bright. With you, my love, I'll take flight. We'll chase the sunset, we'll dance in the rain. Our love will shine brighter with every heartbeat's pain. We'll rise above the noise, our love will be the light. In the darkest of nights, we'll find our way to the light. Lost in the moment, our love will ignite. Forever and always, we'll shine with all our might. In your loving arms, I find my peace of mind. With you, my heart beats in perfect time. We'll weather every storm, we'll face every test. Our love will be the anchor that holds us best. Through the ups and downs, we'll stand as one. Forever and always, our love will have won. Lost in the moment, our love will ignite. Forever and always, we'll shine with all our might. In your loving arms, I find my peace of mind. With you, my heart beats in perfect time. In your loving eyes, I see our destiny. Forever and always, our love will be free. In your loving arms, I am home. With you, my heart beats, forever will roam.
So they didn't lose to the grasshoppers out there, to the giants out there. They lost to the grasshopper in here. Their problem wasn't that the giant was too big. Their problem was that their sense of self was too small. They were labeled as a grasshopper. But it was a lie. And there's something that they should have done that Jesus models for us in the text in Matthew 4. Is something they should have done. They should have realized that, wait a minute, besides my conversation with God, the most important person that will talk to me is myself. As a matter of fact, no one talks to me more than I talk to myself. And the problem was when the 10 were spreading that grasshopper viewpoint, there were not enough people who were pushing back against that. And as I was studying this scripture, I thought about something with my wife who several years ago got into tennis. And so that's her game, it's not my game. But I know enough about it to know this. When the opponent is serving the ball and they hit it in bounds, you lose if you don't hit back. When the enemy sends something in your direction, you lose if you don't know how to hit back. And I don't know who I'm talking to at the 12:30, but I want to tell somebody, you've been losing in joy, you've been losing in faith, you've been losing in hope, because when the enemy is sending it in your direction, you're not hitting it back. But this is your season to get the lick back on the devil. In Matthew 4, every time the enemy sent something in Jesus' direction, he it back with a word. He said, command these stones to be made bread. He said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. He said, jump off this cliff. He said, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Every time the devil came in his direction, he hit back with a word. This is your hit back season. Don't just sit and let the enemy talk to you and discourage you and run rampant in your mind. Hit back.